All right, troops, welcome to the Action Elite. My name is Owen. So, slightly different schedule tonight. You may remember if you were watching the show last week that we were going to be talking about excessive force with Thomas Ian Griffith. But yeah, it's not actually on any streaming channels whatsoever anywhere. And I thought I had it on physical media, but I don't. And a whole bunch of us don't have it. So we're like, okay, so we're going to do that at some point soon. I'm just going to have to buy it. But this is the reason why you should support physical media and buy them, so we actually can keep having access to these movies. So instead, we're going to be talking some Van Damage, and we're going to be doing Bloodsport versus Kickboxer. So this should be very interesting, but I have a funny feeling which way it's going to go. But before we begin, let's bring in the squad. So first up, we have Uvian, aka Van Damage.
Put up your dukes, right?
Yeah, put up your dukes. Okay, USA. All right, next up, we have Sean. Hey, all right. Next up is Charlie.
Wait, we're not doing excessive force? I just got the DVD.
At least some people do.
Literally showed up today. Today.
Yesterday for me, actually, but yeah.
Right, and I will order it, and then we'll do it soon in the next couple of weeks to make up for it. Anyway, so next up is J-Man.
Hey.
All right. And finally we have John.
I just want to say that I've had my Excessive Force DVD for many years now. I was all set.
Nobody's
stop it, John. We don't believe you at all. We know you just ordered it. I don't believe you. I want to see the receipt.
I got excited because I was like, yes, I have it. Then everyone was saying they didn't. I was like, oh, damn it. Okay.
So I watched Excessive Force. I made notes and everything. I solved the meaning of life. I'm going to forget all this in a couple of weeks. It'll just be erased from existence.
Did you guys all buy it, drive the price up?
Maybe we probably bought all the last.
No, I watched it on YouTube. Some guy uploaded to YouTube where he's talking a little bit through it, just a little bit. Every so often he'll make a comment, and I felt like I was watching it with a buddy. So I'm like, this is kind of fun.
So like, hey, shut up! Oh wait,
new friends on YouTube. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we will do that again soon. So just a heads up for anybody watching. So there's not going to be a show next week, but we'll do it the week after. So I just have too much going on with work right now, and I won't be able to spit it. Fuck is that?
Excessive Force is happening right now.
It's this Friday, or no, what day? Wednesday afternoon.
I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, so yeah.
Wanted.
I hear gunshots, Owen. You better duck or something.
I know.
Oh.
Anyway, so that's what happens when you watch Action Elite. Just real action happens live on the end. So we'll do Excessive Force soon. But anyway, so I don't think I was going to complain when we were talking Van Damage, because let's face it, that's our favorite subject to discuss. So, and I.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
We're losing everybody.
Oh, no, we lost Sean.
Picture problems.
Oh, there's two Seans now. Two Seans don't make it right. Okay,
You're in my world now.
Wow.
All right.
I thought it was
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank
we're
you,
gonna
J-Man.
talk. Yeah, that's okay. Owen's coming back. Hold on, he's coming back.
He'll be back.
I can run. Yeah, I was gonna say I can run the stream if need be.
I have no idea.
That was annoying. Yeah, I don't know. This always seems to happen. That this is a piece of shit laptop.
But we shouldn't have lost John, though. That's his end.
Oh,
And
so
it dropped
that's
Sean.
Weird.
Yeah.
We all just got kicked. It must be StreamYard or something.
Yeah, StreamYard dropped me. So
yeah, then me, then John.
Yeah,
that's so weird because I can run it.
When it dropped me, I thought it would just be me because the way it happened. But I didn't know everybody got dropped. But
that was wild.
That is weird. Everyone got
that
dropped.
is weird.
Wolverine, thanks for joining us in the chat, buddy. We appreciate it. Is Excessive still in print?
Thank God you do it because nobody else does.
There's a German Blu-ray I looked up that you can get, but I had to get it on DVD. We're probably buying up the last of the stock. So get it while it's available now.
I'm gonna pick it up soon. Yeah. The show is just delayed for a couple of weeks, and then we'll get back to doing that then. But anyway, so we're going to start off tonight by talking Bloodsport versus Kickboxer to see which one really is the champion. So we'll start off with Bloodsport. This is a tough one because I do love both movies very much. Bloodsport has a special place in my heart, and to me, it's just one of the all-time great fighting tournament movies. maybe the best one, just because I love all of the different fighters and the way it just personality. It feels just like if Street Fighter was done as a movie, it should have been sort of like this, where it's like just a fighting tournament. There's John back. Come on. There you go, kicked out too. We all got kicked out at the same time. That's weird. So obviously, I was one of the first Van Damme movies, and I was our introduction to him. Love pretty much everything about it. Love the score. Love the songs by, of course, Stan Bush, our pal Jay.
Yes,
and Sean,
our close personal friend. Stan, we can't have you on this week. We'll come on next week.
Yeah.
All right, see you, man.
Speaking of which, that's my autographed Stan Bush album, which he signed.
Awesome. We both have the same one. Sean was the winner. Sean was the winner that night with his.
Yeah, I got my LP of Transformers the movie signed by him.
Oh, that was awesome.
Is that CD new songs that he did? Is that new?
Yeah, this is a new album. And he's got another one coming soon, which has the song No Surrender from the last Kumite. That'll be on his new album, so it's coming soon.
Just
awesome. So
you got the touch.
Does any of the songs say Kumite in them? Because it would be awesome.
That's right. I mean, you got that song there, so Bloodsport is awesome. Some of the acting is a bit janky, but I wasn't going to steal it.
That kid's great. Young Van Damme is. I'm surprised that kid's not still around.
Yeah, I know he should have got an Oscar for that. Yeah, I love. Oh fuck! My mind just got completely blank. I love all the characters anyway. As Donald Gibb, there we are. I was trying to remember his name.
Did you see Bloodsport Kickboxer first?
I can't remember. My cousin had them all on VHS when I was over in Ireland on holiday for a week, and he had them all on VHS. And we watched, I think, on one day we watched Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and Death Warrant. It's kind of like the greatest day of all time. My wedding day would have to be pretty spectacular to top that, just because that never happens. I can't remember which one I saw first, but Bloodsport's a fun time, and definitely one of my favorite Van Damme movies. Yuvian, what do you think?
Bloodsport. I mean, I'm wearing the Kickboxer shirt, but I mean, Bloodsport's just classic for everything you said, right? I mean, it's just the introduction to him and just the splits and his, just how graceful and, he's got a beautiful body. Like, let's just be honest here. And just his charisma, I know and saying he's trying to act, He got better, of course, over time. And then the movie itself is just, it's a great, you just put that on and just like that classic, J-Man's got the Cannon shirt on and the classic Cannon Steel Seas and then the opening montage with everybody and stuff. And the music is great and Stan Bush is great. Just classic. Just watch that on TBS all the time as a kid. So.
Yeah, and Bolo Young as Chong Li, he's like one of just the iconic villain, and he barely even speaks. He just says a couple of words like "You are next."
Brick no hit back.
Yeah, I break you like I break your friend. He's just awesome. But
forgot I had this. This is it's a poster signed by Van Damme by Bolo Young. So.
That is awesome.
That's badass.
Once again, I would give away my firstborn just for that. I'd be like, let me stress. How much this means more to me.
Wedding night, firstborn. See where Owen's priorities lay right now.
Yep. Is that all you're going to say, even? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Kickboxer? But I think just Bloodsport did everything better. Just in terms of just the variety of fights, the characters.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
You shut up. So we're doing Bloodsport first, then we just Kickboxer, and then we'll do which is our favorite one. So, Sean, what about?
Bloodsport. I definitely saw that first. I remember renting it. And I don't know when it was available for rental, but we'd watch it after school almost every day, it seemed, either at my place or someone else's place. And it felt, like the movie you shouldn't watch, but was, but you're watching it. I feel like this Kickboxer and Lionheart, I guess, is the big underground fighting trilogy that Van Damme made. And I swear, and maybe I don't think this is a hot take. I think this is just an unspoken understanding. I feel like these movies and stuff like Best of Best and all that, but especially the Van Damme underground fighting movies, of Street Fighter 2 in '91.
Sean, you cut out just as you told us the meaning of life.
Oh man,
dramatic pause.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was trying to say, I feel like those three movies set the zeitgeist for the explosion of Street Fighter 2 in 1991 and everything after that, like, you know, all the other video games, like Mortal Kombat. We discussed that took direct inspiration from Van Damme with Cage, right? So,
yep.
But yeah, I feel like you don't get that explosion of tournament fighting like popularity in the 90s without these movies, right? And I feel like Bloodsport is the one that everyone remembers more, even if they don't remember the name of it. It's the one with all the different kinds of fighters and everything, and it's got like Ogre in it and stuff, and you know, and he has speaking lines, and he's actually charming. He's not like the asshole he is in the nerd movies. It's awesome, and that whole thing at the end with all the stats of Frank Dukes is like the biggest license since Santa Claus. And it's like when I realized, like, oh, maybe this isn't true, like I was crestfallen, you know. But it was cool. And you pause it and you see all the big stats. Like, it's so detailed. It's like, where the hell did that come from? But yeah, it's awesome. It's like and like I mean, I'll get into it more with Kickboxer, but as a villain, yes, Bolo Young is awesome, but I know who my favorite is out of these two. So anyway,
me too. Yeah. Although I just have a bone to pick with you. What do you mean the lie about Santa Claus? Are you implying that Santa Claus is
good thing my daughter's not watching. Damn it.
You know what? Santa is alive and well and living in the Guelph here, so he's fine.
That's all we need to know.
And every Christmas Eve, me or Otto should pick him up on the radar. So sure.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, yeah. So I mean, I saw most of the Van Damme movies in order because I did see No Retreat, No Surrender. I don't know if I saw that first or Bloodsport first, but very close together and very close together with the next. I was just looking at the order because I also saw Black Eagle and Cyborg and Kickboxer, all of these around in the same time. I mean, Van Damme's like a hero of mine. Basically, anything that happened, anything that Van Damme did, I did. So as soon as he got an earring in Hard Target, I'm like, well, I need to have an earring. I mean, this is obvious. So and I've got two there, and that's why I have that. We changed our lives to base it on Van Damme. We started to do the accent and stuff. We weren't doing it enough making him fun. We didn't make fun of Van Damme. We literally thought, well, this guy's the damn greatest. The damn greatest.
The Van Damme greatest.
The Van Damme greatest. Yeah, Bloodsport. I mean, Bloodsport's not really a movie to me. Like Bloodsport, like literally, like you say, oh, it changed my life and it's cheesy, but it kind of did. Like 5 minutes after we watched it, we started a kumite in like, we literally, okay, we're doing a kumite, guys. We're calling guys over to do a kumite in our building, like beneath our balcony. And it's like, Bloodsport was like everything to us. I mean, I've seen it. I don't even know how many times. It's just like stupid. I started watching it again just to watch it for the stream. I don't even know why I did that. It's pointless. I thought I'd watch a few scenes, and you sit there and you end up watching it like throughout. It's so tight. Like every scene is the best. I can't even think of a negative. There's like, the acting. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. Yeah, that kid, you know, I wasn't going to steal it. You're going to call the cops. You know, you're not going to call the cops or whatever. Well, that's what the kid talked like. I don't know. He was a shy kid, right? I don't know. Whatever. Forrest Whitaker's in this, so you know how many. What Forrest Whitaker movies? You know what movie do you have him in? Right. So. Right. I love it. Like Bolo, everything. I love every second of it. I love all the lines. I love all the music. I like the fight scenes. Some, you know, maybe it's choreographed. Some of the fights are a little bit better in Kickboxer, perhaps, but the uniqueness of each guy is cool. The tournament thing is there. I love Street Fighter, love Mortal Kombat, love tournament movies. I don't know if I was in Taekwondo at the time of that movie. Maybe not. I don't remember when I was in, but it's just like, yeah. It's not a movie. Like it's just this thing that exists as part of your memory and part of your life. Mm-hmm. There's a few movies like we'll get to Kickboxer. I can acknowledge, you know, there's movies that are better than Bloodsport, I suppose, obviously, but like it's just so ingrained like in me. as soon as you hear the music, you're like, oh yeah, like yeah, that music and the dim mak and all that. We would say it. There's a guy in my office, an older guy. We would use Bloodsport lines. He's like, yo, give me. He goes, don't give me the dim mak on this one. I was like, okay, you know. And it's like, and he's like, and he would call me Shidoshi and stuff. So it's like, it's just ingrained into the culture. And people, this is one of these movies. It's like Godzilla. If you never saw Godzilla, it doesn't matter because you know what it is. You can describe it to someone without having seen it, just like Star Wars. This is how high I think Bloodsport is. It's like, yeah, Bloodsport, yeah, that guy, he does the splits and fights guys. Yeah, that's it. Like, and they might not know. You could show them you might show a Kickboxer scene and they're like, oh yeah, that's Bloodsport, right? Like Bloodsport's become the name of these kinds of movies because it's not just like that's a movie. It's like, oh, you know, it's kind of like Bloodsport. Like you're starting to use that movie to describe other movies. That's when you know that it's not just a movie. It's literally become like a term. Like Godzilla's a term. Like people don't say kaiju. Nobody says kaiju. That's a new thing. When we were kids, we're like, oh, like Gamera. Oh yeah, it's like a Godzilla movie, but a turtle. Like that's how you described it.
Monster
right?
movie or creature feature. Yeah.
Creature. Yeah. Nobody says kaiju. Like that's in the public knowledge now, but not from when I was a kid. You'd be like, oh, it's a Godzilla movie, even though it's not. You'd watch King Kong Escapes, and you're like, oh, it's like a Godzilla movie. It's like, well, it's King Kong, but whatever. Like. Godzilla movie means giant monster, right?
Yeah.
Bloodsport means, oh, that's a tournament movie. That's just a name that you use. You're like, oh yeah, it's like Bloodsport. Okay. Bloodsport, but in the streets or Bloodsport, you know. So
right.
Anyways, there you go. Hey, Brennan.
Hi, Brennan. All right. So, John.
What do you say about Bloodsport? I mean, seriously, like Bruce Lee, like, you know, when he did his thing, I was too young when he did his thing, but like, you know, he brought martial arts movies to the world and like he changed the landscape of it. Chuck Norris did it for a little bit, but then he went more into mainstream action movies. So like he wasn't like as popular in the martial arts movies, you know, because he did the Octagon and stuff like that. Then Jean-Claude Van Damme comes around. I remember I went to see this on opening weekend. My dad, my sister, and I went to see it. And I'd seen No Retreat, No Surrender before this had come out. So, but like that movie, like he was in it, but like he was good in it, and his fight scene at the end was great with Kurt McKinney and everything. But it didn't resonate with me as much. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, it was a good fight and everything, but like how they shot it and stuff like that, like they didn't do like the slow-mo and stuff like that. So like I went to see Bloodsport on opening weekend, and all I have to say is when we walked out, I went to my dad. I was like, hey, can I go see it again and you guys pick me up later? And they're like, sure. So I literally just walked right back in and sat back out of the theater. And well, I bought myself another ticket, you know, because I was already I'm old. I was already 16. So I was like, but it has one of the greatest line exchanges ever in the history of action movies at the beginning when he's trying to, you know, the colonel wants to see Van Damme, and he's like, Colonel, he vanished. He's like, what do you mean he vanished? He's like, 1 minute he was there, next he wasn't. I was like, that is awesome. That is like the best line ever. You just reiterated like something, and like you could have.
He's a ninja.
Yeah, you could have just said something, but you delivered it so much more with that line. And I laugh every time I see it. I mean, no offense to it, but it's just the funniest thing ever.
Why was there 3 showers going though? Like, wouldn't there just be one shower?
He was a big guy.
It's fine.
He's doing the splits in the shower.
Yeah. More noise or something? I don't know.
Like when you first see like when you see Van Damme, like he's doing his kicks on the speed bag, and he's like.
Yeah, he goes,
what's the problem? I was like, wow, that is, like I said, like, you know, his acting, you know, and I was 16 at the time, so I'm like, I didn't care about the acting. I'm like, what's bad acting anyways, you know? But then at the end, when he's doing the helicopter kicks in slow motion, I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just, it's what can you say? I mean, he rejuvenated martial arts cinema. And this guy came out of nowhere. He was like Schwarzenegger. Like Schwarzenegger, you know, he did Conan and, you know, and Terminator and stuff like that. And like it's amazing how this guy went from nothing to something in the span. And this movie was unreleasable at first. I want to say the version that they shot before he went in and edited it and totally like redid the fight scenes and everything. Because I want to say how bad it is. Because you hear stories about it.
I've asked Sheldon the guy a couple of times, Sheldon Lettich, and he couldn't quite describe it. Just saying like this, like no one felt it worked, right? And so they went back in and cut stuff out. When did
the fight
the
scenes
music, the fight scenes and probably the music helped a lot, but they never actually said like what was really bad about it. I mean, just I don't know if it was just you imagine, but if you take that soundtrack out, that movie's a lot worse, right? It's a lot slower, it's a lot worse, right? And then if you just had a bunch of meandering scenes and slow fight scenes, it would probably be a lot worse. But you just get like no one's ever. I never said it. Someone's like there was like a 3-hour cut that was just too much, whatever, and crappy fights. You never hear that.
Jesus.
Yeah, those quickly edited fights where like you couldn't they didn't let it breathe, you know what I mean, like you couldn't see it properly, like this idea of taking your time and let's see the fights better, because like Bruce Lee's a different kind of fighting, this is a different kind of thing. It felt more relatable to me. I love Bruce Lee, of course, but like this felt more relatable. Anyways,
so like what I was saying, I'm like I was such a fan of martial arts, like because I was a fan of Chuck Norris, because from Lone Wolf McQuade, like all the years earlier and everything, and like this just made me love martial arts movies even more. Why I didn't go into a dojo the day after, I don't know. It took 3 years later when The Perfect Weapon came out, I was like, that's it, I'm going into a dojo, and the rest is history. But Van Damme, like, you say what you will about his problems and the stuff he went through, that just makes him a stronger person, so and just a more relatable person, because it's like, here's a guy who had all this fame and stuff like that, and it crushed him to a point, and it's just he's amazing. I've never talked, you've had the opportunity, I can only like dream of sitting and like being like, having a conversation with the man and just picking his brain, and because it's got to be just like an oasis of knowledge, in terms of martial arts and movies and everything. But yeah, you can't say, what can you say about Bloodsport that we all haven't said already? It's Bloodsport. And even what Sheldon Lettich, I love, because I talked to Sheldon Lettich, I interviewed him, and he was, and I remember we were talking about, he was like, Bloodsport, that's a great name. I'm like, it is. It's like, if you're going to name a martial arts movie, Bloodsport. It's simple, but yet fans are just like, it sounds awesome, and it got people in the seats, and and then word of mouth, because when I saw it twice that one day, I went to school and I was just like, you gotta see this movie, you gotta see this guy, and I was like telling everybody and their mother, you gotta go see this movie and everything. So it's just, it rejuvenated everything about martial arts action cinema. So there you go.
Yeah, it actually got me into doing Muay Thai boxing, which I did for a couple of months, and then I cracked my ribs, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to be a fat piece of shit instead. And not
I'm going to watch it on television. I'm going to watch other people do it.
Yeah, I watch other people, and I'm going to sit my fat ass and eat some chicken tenders, and just do that instead. That works for me.
You guys are right, though. It's what you kind of forget. I've loved Van Damme since that. I guess I didn't really understand Owen's question, but you guys have just really opened my mind over just what that meant to see Van Damme for the first time, like what he meant to you in life. And I still love Van Damme, and like that's kind of like the reason I still I know him now, because I think I just loved him so much, and then the opportunity came up, and it just worked out that he knew that I loved him. And then when I met him, kind of thing, like not in a creepy way, but basically, but it's like, but he just like he was so just inspirational. Like I always say something, a guy from Belgium can come over, like a high school dropout who does karate, ballet, and weightlifting, can become a movie star. Like any of us could be the president, you know what I'm saying? Like anything's possible, right? Because he did it, because he just wanted to do it, he did it. And so you kind of forget that, because this was such a long time ago that this came out, and your kids, and to J-Man's point, yeah, you start doing taekwondo and lifting weights and stuff like that because you got really inspired. And Bruce Lee did that, of course, as well, but Chuck Norris to a degree. But I think Van Damme, we were kind of there for that on the ground level, like it was happening while we were there. It's VHS, it's cable, whatever, like that. So
yeah, I agree. Right, Bruce Lee seemed too high. I feel like it was like unattainable. Like he was almost like God level. And then Van Damme's like, hey, I like this guy. He's kind of cool. He's a bit different. And, it's focusing on the fights. Like Chuck Norris is badass, but it felt like Chuck Norris was almost making just movies, whereas Van Damme was making martial arts type movies where that was the big focus of it. And it just felt like you're like, And
Van Damme, no offense to Chuck. I mean, Chuck was a real dude, did competition, all that kind of stuff. But Van Damme looks better on screen with his kicking, like his physique, right? Than Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is kind of stiff. But Van Damme was so athletic with the ballet background, the weightlifting, that kind of stuff. Like he just looked better on screen than Chuck Norris did, I think.
I agree with that. That's a hot take, but I agree with that.
don't let Franklin hear you say that.
No, because Chuck Norris is going, and John would know this too. Chuck Norris is going for proper movements and kicks and things that are going to hurt. Van Damme is making it cinematic.
Yeah, theatrical. Yeah.
That's the magic, and that's probably what they're talking about with the Bloodsport, different edits of it. Like Van Damme knew it's like it needs to appear good on film. Bruce Lee had to slow down his movements because the camera couldn't capture it properly. And they're like, what the hell just happened there? He's like, oh, I just punched two guys. Like, well, we did. It's like, you got to slow this shit down. So it's a different, Van Damme presented the fights in a way that I had never seen and just seemed fresh. And you're like, wow, this looks cool. I don't know. You walk away, you're like, that was fucking cool. Like, it's not a review. Like, you didn't review movies. You're just like, well, that was awesome. Did you see that? Holy shit. And what John's saying, he's like doing the kicks, like, holy fuck, like your mind's blown. Like, it was never shot that way before.
And the angle that they did, like he did 3 of them in that instant, and it's just the angles that they shot up. But going back to Norris, like Norris is like the stripped down street brawler type martial artist, and I think his fight with David Carradine and Logan McQuay is one of the best fight scenes ever. I mean, I just do. I like having those two square off. But like Van Damme, like he did the ballet and everything. He made martial arts beautiful, and it's just like every move that he does, or like back then, it was so graceful but devastating at the same time. I love Norris, but they're two different ends of the spectrum. So it's like you can love them both for different reasons. Yeah. But we're talking about Van Damme, but it's just like I said, when you went to see Bloodsport, whether it was on VHS or in the movie theater, seeing it on the big screen. I wish they would re-release it because I totally forget how. Because it was phenomenal on the big screen. I would totally go see it on the big screen again just to see those kicks and everything. And it was a shame that he got away from it, because like when he did Expendables 2 and he did the kick, everybody was like, oh my God, he did the helicopter kick. It wasn't like Bloodsport, esque, but it was still a fantastic moment because after all these years, he finally, he did the kick again. So it was awesome.
Okay, right. Charlie.
I like everybody else, I saw Bloodsport first before I saw like Kickboxer and stuff like that. But my first Van Damme was like Universal Soldier because my dad didn't really care for Van Damme. His whole thing about him was he always gets his ass kicked in the movies, and I don't watch him a lot. But Universal Soldier was awesome and had Dolph and everything. So I had to go find all the other movies on my own when I could start renting them. And I kind of did like what J-Man said. I like rented the whole row of Van Damme. And I just started going through them and did Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Hard Target, all of these. Because I didn't watch a lot of these till I was like 14, 15, when I could just go pick them out on my own. So there was a catalog of Van Damme movies ready for me when I was ready to start watching them. But there's something about Bloodsport. Like J-Man said, I can watch this anytime. If it's on, I'll just get sucked right into it, and I'm watching it again. I think the biggest thing is I love the interaction between Van Damme and Donald Gibb. They feel like fast friends that turn into a brotherhood. They feel more like brothers than Kirk does in the next one. At least to me,
I was going to say that. Yeah. Good job.
But I like seeing the fights of all the other fighters. They didn't just focus on Van Damme. It was 2 no-name guys, stunt coordinators more than likely, or stunt guys doing fights, just keeping the energy going, keeping the story flowing, because it was about the tournament, not Van Damme going to the tournament. We were watching this whole thing unfold, and the music is fantastic. I still can't watch him run away from the agents without hearing the fucking Mentos song that's been on the internet forever. I want that cut now. I want someone to fix it. Put the Mentos song in there, and I will be a happy man. It's a great song in there, but dude, you can't not listen and hear the Mentos song when that's going on. But I have no complaints about Bloodsport whatsoever. Chong Li, he is one of my favorite villains. Especially, he shows back up in like Double Impact. So you get like he shows up multiple times, and he was a villain for Bruce Lee, and I think he did one with Chuck. Was it just one movie? He was in with Chuck Norris early on, but he's always been a villain to me. He's never really looked like a good. Yeah, he just never really looked like a good guy. I think he's played good guy once or twice.
Yeah, TC 2000. Yeah.
TC 2000, he's the good guy.
He's Hercules. He's Hercules, right? So he's good as Hercules.
He's Chinese Hercules.
Yeah,
allegedly Van Damme, when they did Bloodsport, allegedly Van Damme told Bo, if I ever do a big movie, like you'll be in it, and that's what Double Impact became. So
he's the best in that movie too.
I love him in that one. I mean, it works out great.
And they're fighting that one just as kick-ass as it was in Bloodsport.
Exactly.
Yes. And his jacket is awesome. I need his jacket in that movie. Anyways,
no, it's I have zero complaints about this movie. I have huge nostalgia. I've watched it countless times. I became more of a Van Damme fan after watching Bloodsport. I mean, I loved him in Universal Soldier, but that's an action movie with a little bit of martial arts sprinkled in, just so Van Damme can do what he's known for in a movie. But it's a lot of guns and killing people and shit like that. But this one was. They didn't focus on that. Like, one person dies in the fight just because they've built it up to that. Like, oh, someone's got to die. And it's like when we first started getting the mixed martial arts UFC tapes that, we weren't allowed to watch. And they're like, oh, someone could die fighting in these fights. It kind of had that feel. And then at that age, I was playing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. No one, and hearing them talk like, yeah, Mortal Kombat, it's Bloodsport. We just went darker and grittier with it and ripping people's heads off. So I don't know. I won't go too long, but it's Bloodsport, is a fantastic movie for me. It's probably one of my favorite Van Damme movies aside from like Hard Target.
Yeah. Real quick, just to reiterate what Charlie said, Van Damme isn't showcased a lot throughout the first 2/3 of the movie. It's like an ensemble with all the fighters. It's
about the tournament. Yeah.
It's not until the end with the semifinals and the finals that he really gets the showcase. So, I mean, he does fight, but it was cool how all the other fighters, got their chance to shine and everything. And he did fight, but he wasn't like, on center stage yet. It was all the other fighters too, which was kind of
exactly.
Yeah, it's called Bloodsport. It's about the sport. It's
right.
It's about that tournament. It's fun to pick out guys. That's what they miss in all these tournament movies. They miss the picking the guys. They're like, oh shit, I bet you that guy's gonna because as kids, you watch it again, you start thinking, oh, who's gonna win out of these two guys? Because Van Damme's gonna win, but then for the other guys, you don't really know. So you're like, is that guy who's like jumping around on the trees and breaking the coconuts? Like, can he beat? Like, how's he going to beat the sumo guy? And how's he going to beat? You start. That is so cool. It actually unlocks your imagination. I don't think I'm overstating this. It really does, because then because you start to see like, oh, and then other countries. You're like, oh, hey, is that a different martial art I've never seen? And you're like, shit. And that's what Sean was saying with the Street Fighter stuff, where it's like. Yeah. That's the Street Fighter thing, right? Where it's like every fighters from around the world and everything.
You created that frame of reference for every kid. So when they saw Street Fighter 2, like, oh, that they had something to latch on to.
Yeah,
right?
That guy in the trees was basically Dalsum.
A lot of it. But it also gave you people to root against other than just Chong Li being the villain. It's like Paco. When you watch that, you're kind of like, you don't want Paco to keep winning, but you want him to face off with Van Damme, and you're like, I don't know if are they going to put those two together? And then you get the ultimate like swapping of the kicks right to the, come on. It's just, I fucking love that fight.
And then you see Paco just like, all right, I'm done.
You get like, I feel like he's kicking him because there's a minute where he's like, it fucking hurts, dude.
Your legs are stronger than my legs.
Yeah, they traded for a bit, but then Van Damme kept.
He got that double kick in on him when they slow it down and he gets two in, and Paco's, you just see him wincing the entire time. So it's like every fight's good, but the big fight obviously is Chong Li.
Yeah, that hurts me just looking at it.
I think they said 7 splits he does in this movie. Like they really push the fact that he is known for his splits whenever he does them.
Even that we're talking, John, you were just saying how Van Damme doesn't fight a lot in the first part, but it's like him just doing the splits on chairs and he's just meditating. Even that's impressive, right? Or him just running around, that kind of stuff. It's just like you remember those things. And of course, the butt shot, and it's like, oh, here's the beginning of the tradition and stuff like that.
The gratuitous butt shot that you have to have.
It was a minor one in Bloodsport, though. He was putting his underwear up. It's not like Lionheart where he totally takes his robe off. It's like, there he is. It's like
that's our joke. My partner had never seen No Retreat, No Surrender, and I was trying to talk her into it when I got the Blu-ray, and she said, does he do the splits? Like, yeah. Did you show his butt? No. She's like, I'm out.
You were early on that one.
Yeah, but they've got the bad accent, so it is you. The son, is it not?
Yeah.
He does it across the ropes though. That is a really cool split.
That is cool in the rope. Yeah,
but
And
you
that
know,
was an unfair fight. He had gloves and pads, and
Right.
and the other kid on the outside didn't have it. Screw that. Van Damme won that fight. Hashtag Van Damme
Johnny
won.
Lawrence.
Justice for Van Damme.
But I mean, we haven't really talked about a whole lot with Bloodsport. Is we do get that montage, that flashback of his training, and it was Shidoshi, and it tells a story without beating you over the head with the story. And they break it up a little bit too. It's you get him when he's doing the flashback when he first gets to Shidoshi, then it cuts back to him meeting, talking to him when he's on his deathbed basically, and throughout the movie you get these little throwbacks and you understand why he's on this journey. It's not that my brother got hurt or anything like that. It's I am doing this for honor. So again, it brings it right back to it's all about the tournament, not Van Damme having to save someone or in reality prove something to anyone else other than himself and bring honor to his Shidoshi, to Tanaka. Which I like that story too. It doesn't drag on that. So you get the Van Damme in the story, but the fighting is interspersed in between all of that. And then you got a good cat and mouse kind of story to it too, with the agents trying to bring him back.
Right. Where's the Frank Dukes prequel? Where it's like, yeah, but we need to know more about when he was a kid and all this bullshit. It's like a 5-minute flashback. Okay, I get it. The kid was helping, the son died. It's sad. Now he's gonna take over. All right, we're good. It's just enough to make it sad, but not like if things are too sad for too long, I start to laugh and lose interest very quickly. If you try to force sadness, like it was this big tragic tale, I was like, it's not that tragic, is it though? I lose interest but this was tragic because you saw a little bit with the kid. You're like, oh, I get it. He's passing it on. He's like, for 2,000 years, we pass it on. And
that line is all you needed in that. Plus it hard cuts to after the funeral where they're in front of, the picture. I didn't need the lead up of how he died, why he died, everything.
But did any of you think that when you first saw that he got killed at the Kumite? Or no?
I didn't think that.
I didn't think that.
And I think I would have said something.
Because I think Sheldon said he's supposed to basically died in Vietnam, which I never would have thought of.
I would have a harder time believing that because Tanaka would have been vehemently against him going because he lost his first family to the bomb. So you would think like he'd be like, don't go to war. Maybe he went anyway, but I don't know. I like that we don't know and that's left ambiguous of what happened to him, and it's just Van Damme steps in to fill the shoes to do it for him.
I thought he was the one that, because they talked about Chung Li killing somebody before in a previous Bloodsport. I thought that was him.
No, I don't think.
I didn't
think that.
And I hope it's not that. One of the beauties of this movie is that it just works as its own self-contained thing. One of the knocks when we talk about Kickboxer is this brother thing. I don't like that at all. I really like that this is. I've trained my life to do this. Your son passed away before he had a chance to go to win the way you had won. I'm going to now do that for you. It talks to the girl about the girl from, actually she's from what's it called, the Burning. Talks to the girl from the Burning, and he's like, you want to be a reporter, right? Your dad was a reporter. You want to do him proud. Me too. I like that. All that is genius because it has to do with just the tournament. It's like, I'm here to win. We're here to compete, to show how good we can be for honorable reasons. That's it. If you start introducing more elements, that's more elements for me to not like. It's like, oh, my son died in the tournament. Oh, okay. This was my problem with last Kumite. Everyone is forced to compete at gunpoint or I'm going to shoot your family. I'm like, that's not a fun tournament. Like, I like that you're putting your life on the line to show how good you are. People do it in UFC. It's a more realistic story, whether you believe Frank Dukes or not and whatever. I've watched every video on Frank Dukes with Viking Samurai talking and all the guys. I've watched everything you can possibly watch about this situation. So I'm not going to comment on that. But anyways, I like Frank Dukes, so I don't care. I don't care. The guy
Frank Dukes is not in the room with you right now, is he?
He's not in the room
just
right
blinked
now.
Twice.
Yeah,
I like listening to him talk. He's fun. He's a fun guy. Right. If it's a lie, it's a lie. So what? We all tell lies every day.
It's a lie.
I've got 20/20 vision. I don't need glasses.
He got a movie made. He got paid, and his name will be lived on, whether it be infamously or famously.
Put up your dukes. Yeah.
God bless him.
Frank Dux.
Also,
he makes fun of his own fucking name too.
That's great. That is great. I know.
It's got Forrest Whitaker in, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's wasn't as big of an actor as he was, you know. But you just watch Bloodsport. It's like Forrest fucking Whitaker.
Yeah. My wife was making fun of Bloodsport today, so I was like, oh yeah, look at this, Forrest Whitaker, booyah. I like that.
My God.
Ghost dog himself.
Also, has anybody ever sat on a bus and looked sad while listening to My Own Alone by Stan Wood?
Yeah.
And then I love he thinks he sees him like he would be sitting over on the other side. Like, oh, there he is. It's like,
oh. Yeah. One thing is about Van Damme. I think we maybe discussed this before, but I can't remember. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so whatever. Is that like he never played sort of the invincible badass? His characters have always been vulnerable. He was never like Stallone or Arnold, where you know Arnold's like, it's just like larger than life or whatever characters. But Van Damme always played like real sort of human characters for the most part.
getting the shit kicked out of him before.
Yeah, and he got beaten, and he's always sort of rising up at the end. It's all about like overcoming adversity. I always kind of like that about him.
But that makes him more relatable as an action hero. It's like, he's not indestructible. It's like he can get hurt. He can get he has to go through adversity. So that's why why fans gravitate towards that. So.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think we've spoken quite a lot about Bloodsport. So on to Kickboxer now. So I just watched this the other week, and I gotta be honest, Kickboxer is like my comfort movie. Like I could watch this on repeat. I love the soundtrack to the score by Paul Herzog. Do you know the bit whenever there's like the training, and then Cian is like playing so it's like and it's like a sort of mellow bit. There's like this ambient thing on YouTube, and it's like an hour-long version of like the Kickboxer meditation. I listen to that while I'm at work, and it is awesome. And like the music relaxes me, the film relaxes me. Like just watching Kickboxer, and I'm just happy in my happy place. Same with Bloodsport, to be honest, but there's something about this that I mean, greatest dance scene of all time. No one's going to top that.
100%.
That's really what Owen's listening to at work, and that's what he's doing at work.
And I'm practicing the moves in the washroom in front of the mirror.
He's just feeling so good today.
Yeah. Oh, it's the ambient. Sure. Okay.
He's over there just
that's
clapping his hands. He's doing
shaking my ass, doing the splits. Yeah.
Why were those guys so pissed at me?
No, and this is so it's a straightforward sort of revenge tale. Well, my thing is like, so his brother Eric Sloan, played by Dennis Alexio, was like a real fighter in real life. The thing is like, his character's a dick. So like, I never really get that involved with like the revenge story. Like, Tong Po fucked about it. Well, he got in the ring with Tong Po, and he was an arrogant asshole, and he got what he deserved. So there's that.
And he got his ass handed to him like in a minute. Like,
yeah, and that was the thing. And I was like, well, I mean, and Van Damme's angry about it, and I was like, well, yeah, I get it. It's your brother, even if he's actually a bit of a tool. But yeah, I never sort of felt that bad because they never made him particularly sympathetic. Although the scene, the US version is shorter than the version I'm used to, the childhood version. I think we've discussed this before. There's like a scene where they're in the hospital, and like because Eric starts like crying, and he's like, "You fight him, Kirk. You fuck him up, and you fuck him up bad." And he's like telling him to go and fight him, and I was like, "Why is that not in the US version that I've watched?" And then there's another scene where just after the dancing scene, and he's like, "You get pedicab," and he's like, "Pedicab?" The way he says it, sort of drunk, but that's not in the US version either. And I'm like, oh, there's like all these little scenes which are cut out.
Pedicab was in the American one, I think, because I always remember
not
that.
the Blu-ray. I got.
I've never seen the brother crying or anything.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Because I always thought he was
on YouTube now.
I always thought he was like against Kurt even fighting. So
that's what that's what he literally says that in the third act, right?
I
don't want to do it.
Final fight where he comes around to it and he's like, "No, I want you to do this." No, I understand why.
So that's not in our version, but the pedicab one is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting. So
that's weird.
I don't know. But yeah, I gotta be honest. Tong Po is one of my favorite villains, and I think he's a far more evil villain than Chong Li, because like he rapes Van Damme's woman, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's like the lowest form of life. Like, I hate this guy. That's why that was whenever I hated Tong Po, was that. But I think it's also one of the best villain introductions ever, where you're just hearing boom.
Oh yeah.
Boom, boom, and like the place is like shaking, and then he just peeks around the corner. You see this guy kicking the shit out of a pillar, and like it's falling apart, and you're like, "Oh, this is bad, motherfucker! This is not going to go well."
It's just the drywall. It's fine. It's just the I've punched through drywall.
But yeah, I just like as an introduction to the character, I thought it's brilliant, because there's like no dialogue required, but you just know that this guy is going to be a threat, and Eric is going to end up mangled, which he does. Yeah, I mean, I do love the movie. I do think that Eric and Kurt, they don't really feel like believable brothers, I guess. But I just love the dynamic. I love Xian. I love him as a character. And Mei-Lin, Mei-Li. I love her as well, and I hate what happens to her. And it's from that point on, we're like, yeah, right, you can kill Tong Po now. It's like, he deserves it. But I know I do love the music as well, just everything about it. So yeah, I definitely have a good time with this one. All right, I'm gonna go.
Well, here, I'll go real quick, just because I actually got to go.
Yeah,
But no, I would say, I mean, I think Kickboxer is fantastic, of course. Yeah, just the music, the training montages, I'm okay, and the dog stuff, the meat and everything like that, and Xian and everything. What else was I gonna say about Kickboxer? I think it's like Van Damme's probably best physique in movies. He's just super huge and ripped and everything like that, and tan and everything. Yeah. But just it's not just quite there for like Bloodsport level for me. And so I love Kickboxer. I love it. But it's like, if that's an 80%, Kickboxer's 100, or I'm sorry, Bloodsport's the 100%. And then this was meant to be because Van Damme's in Thailand right now. I heard from him this morning. He's over there. He's actually with a Thai kickboxing champion, Kyle, yesterday. So I don't know if he's there. I think he was trying to open a gym over there. He was doing some stuff, but he's always in Thailand. But he is there, and yeah, I heard from him this morning. He sounds good. He's been on Facebook and Instagram a bunch, just in the gym and stuff like that. So he's in good spirits.
So everybody, now you know that Yuvian is officially better than all of us, because he spoke with Van Damme this morning and we didn't. So
I'm not going to do my website anymore.
Yeah, that's it. I quit.
Charlie has become an icon now. He's lost it. He's lost physical form. He's become just pure sound.
I'm not worthy to be below Duvian right now. I'm not worthy of it.
How can we top this? We might as well just stop talking now. It's like
Joke's on you. He's not in Thailand. He's right here.
Seriously, that is fucking cool. I mean, I would just love to tell people like, hey, I talked to Van Damme today. He's doing great.
It's pretty surreal. Like, one thing, like I said, it's one thing is, people like us, we like what we like, and not, it's, comic books and movies and this and that were not always cool things to like when we were kids, probably, right? And then now they're all cool. Everyone's into it now. But like, so for us, sticking through it, loving our stuff, love what we loved, never guilty pleasure. With Van Damme, just like I said, that dude had so much impact on my life. Double impact, whatever you want to say. But basically, he was just such a great inspirational force in my life. And then to see him, meet him, and stay in touch with him, it's pretty surreal, but it's pretty funny. Like, I wish, my mom loves it. Every time I send her a photo, she makes a collage of me and Van Damme and sends it to me.
Awesome. That's
cool. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah. But all right, thanks, guys. I'm going to jump off.
All right. Good to see you.
All right, brother.
Take care.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Okay. So, Charlie, seeing as you went last time,
I gotta follow that.
Yeah.
I gotta follow.
Good luck with
I just
that
hung out with my bro Van Damme.
Just say you talked to him yesterday, and he's and he's like, talk about his new movie.
Hey, I'm on cloud 9 when he shares the stream once in a while. So that I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
tag him in this and hope he does. So come on, Van Damme,
absolutely.
share
Well, his best friend's on here. I would hope he would share it. No, I like Kickboxer. We actually just covered this during the month of action because we had already done Bloodsport early, and I enjoyed it. I remember as a kid, it was like just as impactful. Watching it more of an adult now, I do feel like the beginning stuff is a little. The difference between the two is Bloodsport mixes in the tournament, and I'm get to see that as there's exposition told to me. This is straight up Kurt trying to get, or not Kurt, but Kurt. Kurt and Eric, getting them mixed up. is watching him try to get trained so he can fight Tong Po. Not that he's already ready to fight like he is in Bloodsport. So it's a lot of training montage. And for me, like it's awesome, it's beautiful. It's just a little too long when I watch it again. And when in Bloodsport's just boom, 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 here we go. We're watching fights. Now we get to see Van Damme go. I love Zhang. I think I like him a little more than Tanaka because we get more of Zhang and get his comedy, his humor. And he's, you know, when Van Damme's hanging up. True, but he's a bad guy in that. So, but I love when, you know, Van Damme gets caught up in the trap and he's like, cut me down. He goes, don't know you. You know, just matter of factly, just, I don't know who you are. You know, and then drops him down on his back. It's hilarious.
I love that's a running joke through it as well. Sorry, I just remember that. And he's like, "Don't step there." He's just quietly saying that. Yeah.
He's just walking away. When he pops up out of the water, he just pushes his head right back down into the water. It's gorgeously shot. Like I love the scenes at the temple where Van Damme's training. You've got the hawk flying through the air. A lot of the flashes to the warriors of yesteryear, I guess, is what they're trying to show. It's a very well made, well shot movie. For me though, it's the end fight. It's one of the most iconic end fights in the old ways is how we're going to fight the ancient ways. You know, dipping the hands in the glass and fighting each other. And, you know, I said it in my podcast. I'm saying it now. It also created the greatest scene ever, which is Hot Shots Part 2, when they dips it into the fucking caramel
and M&M's or whatever.
M&M's, and then the crowd's like, jelly beans, you know, sprinkles, jelly beans, sprinkles, and he holds them. It's fucking hilarious. Jared Alcamora gets hit in the face, and there's fucking gummy bears stuck to the side of his head. It's hilarious, but it's all because of Kickboxer. And I think I could go 50-50 on whether I like Tong Po or Chong Li better. Tong Po is a piece of shit because he does do the rape scene in this, which I kind of feel like that was a lot, man. Just make it about getting revenge for your brother. Like that was kind of fucked up. But it makes you want him to really get his ass kicked. One thing that really, I love action movies, but Winston feels so like crammed in to get that gunfire scene in the warehouse. It's just like, oh shit, we need more action in this movie for some reason. M16 and just waylays to everybody. Winston just feels a little shoved in for me at that moment. Other than that, he's a great character up and like throughout the movie, and I'm down with that. It's that moment though of I got my grand entrance and I've got all my army fatigues on, and did you miss me? He got that fucking cigar in his mouth, and it just felt like the writers went, oh shit, we need something right here, some kind of big impact, and that's what they came up with. Love the fight, and Duvian's right, or Owen or whoever said it. This is like peak Van Damme. Like I don't know if he's ever been this cut, this like sculpted in any other movie. Like this is like he was carved out of granite and did this fight with Tong Po. It's fun watch. I enjoy it. I own it. I'll watch it. You know, it's not one of those things where I'm like, I'll watch it if it's on, but I always lean heavier towards Bloodsport, and that's just a me thing. So that's what I gotta say about it.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, I love Kickboxer. I watched the shit out of it as a kid. To me, Tong Po is the better villain of the two. Yes, everyone loves Bolo Young, but I feel like the thing about Tong Po is it really the movie makes him, because the screenplay really serves Tong Po. He's a presence throughout the entire film. He's the thing that you need to beat at the end, and that's really impressed upon you for the whole film. Not so much Bolo Young; it's a tournament, right? So you have to beat all these guys. But he's the piece of shit guy that you have to fight at the end. They talk about him constantly. He's just a presence in the film. And that scene where he's kicking the pillar is hilarious. It's so great.
It's just drywall. Stop it. He's not. It's not the concrete's not. It's just the drywall that's breaking.
He turns around and he's like, "Oh!" And he gets all mad. Yeah, I'm a sucker for training movies. It's probably because I grew up on those Rocky films. So anytime there's like, you know, like a guy who sucks and he gets better and better, and like they show him sucking, and then there's that epiphany or something, and there's always a scene where he's like slow motion, he's way better now and stuff, and then he comes to a realization somewhere. It's basically it's a lot of Shaw Brothers movies, which this movie now reminds me of a lot more. Now that I'm older, there's a film called Invincible Shaolin. I don't know if anyone's seen that one, but yeah, but it's one of these movies where like the guy trains for the entire movie and he really sucks, and then he's like he has to do the push-ups on those eggs, and if he breaks them, he has to eat eggs and stuff, and he does that for like months. This movie reminds me of that, so I like that kind of thing, but like to me, Bloodsport is the better movie only because it's got all these different guys in it. I love the interplay. We said it anyway. I love the interplay between Donald Glib and Van Damme. They bond over a game of Karate Champ or from Data East or something like that, right?
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, Kickboxer is awesome too. It's like none of these movies suck. They're awesome.
God no.
It's like, and as I said, like that trilogy of underground fighting tournament movies that Van Damme made, like 1 year or like year after year until like Street Fighter 2 came out. Those are all awesome. We lost John.
We lost Sean.
John's gone again.
Yeah, but to me, it's Bloodsport. It edges it out with all the different guys and everything, and I think J-Man, I think everyone said this actually. It opens up your imagination, that movie. And I think it certainly and it really typifies all of these movies. As I said, I think it's the one that people remember. Well, even if they don't remember the name of it. So yeah, but Kickboxer is awesome as well. So
yeah, I love the training scenes in Kickboxer are some of my favorite. Like when you have the silhouette of him with like the sunset in the background and the
that's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous shot. 100%.
And that's just like that scene where I was like, "That's art right there." I'm sorry, it might be, but that's just beautiful.
No, I would have that as a poster. Like you just take
too.
that shot right there. Like I said, it's a gorgeous film. I feel like it's just the way Bloodsport does it. It just kind of keeps the phoneticness of it going. It's a lot of stuff happening. And this one is very, I don't want to say operatic, but it's just kind of drawn out, not slowly drawn out, but just a little more ballet, like a little bit more storytelling as what they're trying to do with it. And I'm not dinging it. Like Sean said, we all love these movies. I love Kickboxer, but whenever we're doing a versus, you kind of got to lean one way or the other. And Kurt and Eric doesn't help Kickboxer for me at all. I didn't say that enough. I know being J-Man mentioned it, but he kind of is a piece of shit. It's just, and he's a cocky. So like, I never really care about the revenge other than it's a brother. That's really what it comes down to.
Well, I'll say this one last thing. Like, I love the training stuff. I'm a sucker for that. But if we're being perfectly honest, the training in Kickboxer grinds the whole movie to a halt. I think that's part of the issue.
That's my issue. There you go. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't happen in Bloodsport. It just keeps... It's not as drawn out. It keeps it nice and tight, like J-Man was saying. I don't need a ton of extra shit going on, and then just gets me right into the fighting. And Kickboxer it's 2/3 of the movie. I think maybe they should, like, he does one good fight before Tong Po. Like, there should have been a couple more. Like, we should have seen him getting better in. Yeah,
you don't get a title shot. Well, okay, I'll wait my turn because see, this is the anyway. I'll wait my turn.
No, you're fine. I'm done.
Go ahead. This is your turn now. Go.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So yeah, Bloodsport is way better for me. I like Kickboxer. I watch it 1,000,000 times, and the thing is, the training, like, maybe they should have had 27 less training scenes, and then it would have been a little bit better. Like, it's like, okay, you're training, but I know you're going to be good, and I know you're going to win. So the problem is that when I already know all of this, I need to be rewarded by more fights. I feel like this movie should have been first, then I feel like Bloodsport's the better version of Kickboxer, but it's like it came after. And I think that was my disappointment. I'd watch Bloodsport because I'm watching these in order now.
Right.
So when I see Kickboxer, the last fight is friggin' awesome, beautifully shot. Van Damme looks awesome. The training scenes look amazing. But it didn't have any of these cool characters. It just had Tong Po. So is Tong Po a good villain? Yes, he's a very good villain. However, when he rapes the girl, I'm out of the movie. I'm like, this is outrageous. Like, why would this be happening in a fight? It's just so, it became a movie. It's like, oh yeah, we got to up the stakes. Then I start to think, oh, I see. This is a guy crafting a movie. Okay, well, there's got to be a montage, and it's got to have this training, and then he'll get better. Oh, we'll attack the dog, and then it's not just Tong Po he's fighting for revenge. It's like there's like this sort of like evil empire that's into drugs, and so wait, what? And this is all introduced in like 1 second. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, I thought this was about kickboxing. It's not about kickboxing. It's just an action movie with massive amounts of training. That was my problem. I'm like, because Bloodsport is about the sport. Kickboxer is not about kickboxing. Kickboxer is about this like, movie villain, and he's an awesome villain. I like Tong Po. When he rapes her, he goes from being a very difficult opponent to this is a bit of a cartoon. I'm like, okay, so he's just super evil. And they try to kill the dog. It's okay. I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
yeah,
is this about is this kickboxing or what's this about? All of the stuff around the kickboxing, the training is cool. Going to the temple to absorb the warriors that have passed is awesome. Giving that guy coming with the scroll, saying, "We challenge you to this battle. This is so awesome." It's like we will do this in the old way with the broken glass. I was like, this is everything about the title Kickboxer that has to do with kickboxing is awesome. Everything that hasn't anything to do with kickboxing is awful. Like that guy, I like Winston, but like he's coming with this big action scene. What the hell is this about? Like they got to rescue the guy. It's like, okay, I mean, and then they kidnap. Just get revenge. Like it weakens Tong Po that he has to keep doing all of this stuff. It's like he kidnaps his brother. It's like you're making him a weaker villain. He should just be like, yeah, I don't care. I'll kick the shit out of anybody.
Yeah, I can take you anytime, any
place. And the brother, it's terrible. He comes there. It's like he's got no people with him. The problem is, if you make it too much of a movie, then I start to find movie flaws where it's like, well, this guy literally thought he was going to go to Tong Po's home country and he's going to win in kickboxing, in Muay Thai, which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
This white guy's going to come and win in Muay Thai here. Is he insane? It's just like he's going to get destroyed. And if he was a real fighter, he would know that. Like he wouldn't be that cocky. Like it just because it's a movie, but it's a movie, so we need revenge. That's my problem with. I love Kickboxer. I'm making it sound bad, but I'm only making it sound bad in comparison to Bloodsport, which has none of these problems because it doesn't address anything. There's a tournament where you go and prove your worth. That's it. Why are you going to a tournament? Some guy might go, I want to get fame, and what one guy, and he's going, he's like, my Shidoshi went, he won, his son died. I'm going to honor his son, who is my training partner, and him by going. That's it. That's the story. Make some friends along the way, make some enemies while I'm at the tournament. Chong Li is a badass mofo. He can't be beat. He beats everybody. He kills people if he wants to. He breaks their legs outside of the thing. It's like he'll do what he has to do. And it's like, I know he's not a villain in the sense if he did something wrong to Van Damme specifically, but he's the guy you got to beat and no one can stand up to him. And you're waiting for them to fight. The thing is, Van Damme going through other guys is neater because you're like, oh, how is he going to beat this guy? Oh, how is he going to beat that? When he's fighting the sumo guy, you're like, yo, this guy's like not going down. Like he's thrown he's done all the Van Damme moves and this guy's still up, right? And then finally the dim mock that we saw earlier, like, oh, that's so good, right? And the blindness, oh, that was foreshadowed, right? It all came together. Kickboxer is a cool movie, but I'm too aware of it being a movie. It's exactly what you said, Charlie. Oh, we need an action. It's like, oh shit, we don't have any action scenes. What the heck? And it's like, why is it in here? Oh, because they're dealing drugs or something. Is Tong Po a Muay Thai fighter or a drug lord? I actually don't know what Tong Po is. Like, I don't understand. The problem is they introduced this crime syndicate, but I don't understand how that works with Tong Po. Like, what is he in relationship to that crime boss? Like, that guy bets money on him and borrows it from the crime boss. But if you're a crime boss and Tong Po works for you, then you just bet on him anyways? Like, I don't know. It's just too weird. The movie's awesome. I love it. It's Van Damme. I watched it like 100 times. Like, I've watched it so many times. I remember everything. But it's just too much of a movie where I felt Bloodsport was just like, let's tell this really cool tale about this kumite that may or may not really exist and this guy who may or may not have won 100 times or whatever it is. I like it. I think it's like way better than Kickboxer. I like Kickboxer. I think Lionheart's better than Kickboxer also. Kickboxer out of the tournament ones or the fighting underground fighting ones is my least favorite because it's too movie. I think the raping was really like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't like that part. I think
it's just weird.
Left that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why is it even there? Like, it makes him a bad guy for sure, but it makes him a cartoon bad guy. The very beginning where he's kicking the pillar, you're like, oh my God. The point of that scene is to show you they're not effing around in Thailand.
Right.
Like you have your, is he faster than me? Is he good? It's like, buddy, you're eating McDonald's and stuff like that. And you're working out. You're in great shape. You can kick the shit out of anybody in America, but you're not going to kick the shit out of anybody in the place where this thing is invented. Right.
Also, to not research what you're fighting, to not understand they're going to throw elbows, to not understand that.
How could you not know?
Right. They're not going to play by your rules. How do you not research a fight before you go there and get your ass handed to you? Like, right. It's an illegal hit. No, it's not fucking illegal there. It's fucking Muay Thai.
See, this is like, because it's a movie and he needs to be beaten up so that he can get revenge. It's a movie. It's too involved in being a movie first, where you need to have these certain things. Oh, it'll be a revenge picture. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I still love it. I love Kickboxer. I've seen it a million times. I own it, bought it immediately, had it on VHS. Like, I keep rebuying this movie every time. So anyways, that's my
steelbook. I got the steelbook Walmart had that they just did. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and some of the shots are better than Blood. Like the entire training is beautiful, and the last fight is, it's probably the best final fight of all of his movies.
Good, yeah.
It looks amazing. So there you go. There's my spiel on Kickboxer.
Okay, John.
I have not ever in a million years thought that in depth about kickboxing.
No, neither have I.
So the thing is, it's not just, as I said, it's not just movies.
I'm not saying
like,
you guys.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
I'm just saying I've seen Kickboxer 8 million times, like every but I've never thought of. He raped her. I was like, he's an asshole. Bad guys are assholes. That's what bad guys do. Bad guys do bad things to good people. And not only. I like the part where he's like, you bleed like my ling, that is just like, whoa, because that pisses Kurt off and everything, makes me mad and everything. Winston, I thought they were just trying to cram some Eddie Murphy in there. Like, Eddie Murphy was popular at the time, and it's like, let's get this guy in there. Like, I mean, he was great. I mean, the actor went all out, and and stuff like that. So that, if anything about Kickboxer, it's probably Winston that I was like the least like fond of, when you think about it. But I love the training montages because as training in the martial arts, I just loved all, I love training. So I loved watching Van Damme train, because it was like we were getting snippets of like watching Van Damme in action. Funny story is, we all did, my assistant instructors and myself all did the coconut challenge at our dojo. We all went to see who could like take the most coconuts in their guts. I didn't win, but
wow.
Yeah. I think I stopped at 3. After 3, I was probably.
I'd be worried someone's going to fuck with me and drop them on my nuts, man. That's just, I'm not.
Yeah,
no, we had rules. We had ground rules for starting from the beginning. It's like, no, you can't drop it on the face. You can't drop it on the groin. You got to drop it on the guts.
I think our instructor would stand on us. That was as bad as it got. Like, you raise your legs 6 inches above the ground, and then that tightens up your gut, and then the instructor would stand on you. That's about as rough as it got at my place.
Yeah, but Zian, I love Zian as a character. I love them two together, Van Damme and him together, Dennis Chan. And the fight it's not Bloodsport. Like, okay, Bloodsport, if you're going to look at it, is probably a better of the Van Damme. One, it was, like I said, I saw No Retreat, No Surrender first, but it didn't resonate with me as that much. But Bloodsport probably resonates with me more because it was the first time seeing Van Damme on the big screen, and that was his coming out party, So like when I went to see Kickboxer in the cinema, I was like, yeah, but it probably didn't have that much of it as impact as Bloodsport did. So obviously, it's Bloodsport, over Kickboxer. But the fight at the end of Kickboxer, it's like the one from Bloodsport amped up to 10. It's like they got 4 rounds, and it's just them beating the crap out. Well, it's basically like they go back and forth at the beginning, and then Tong Po just proceeds to kick the ever living crap out of him through the middle of it. But then, you know, he knows everybody's safe and everything, and Nuke Su Kao, you know, and he starts, you know, he's regenerated, you know, and then it's probably the best fight if you want to watch vintage Van Damme looking his best in slow motion and on screen, and because I think the helicopter kicks in that fight was probably better than the ones in Bloodsport. I just don't know. It's just the way they were shot and the way they were presented and how they did it. It was like shinier, the sheen.
I think it's how it's presented.
Yeah, it was like glossier. Right, yeah.
And Van Damme had more to do with it, though, right? And it looks like Van Damme choreographed a lot of that, and
he did in Kickboxer.
In Kickboxer, that's why it looks a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and I agree with you guys with Winston coming to the rescue with his, you know, M203 grenade launcher. You know, that was like. That was kind of cheesy, you know, and then he hits the guy, you know, and everything's like
that character's better in Lionheart because that's basically what we get.
Thank you. Okay, yes.
I love Lionheart.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
Like I said,
better there.
I don't know the actor. I should know the actor's name because I've seen it so many times. But whoever he was in Kickboxer, yeah, it was like he was trying to be like Eddie Murphy, you know, in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and I was just like, you're not as funny, or you know, like Eddie Murphy is.
Well, it wasn't written as funny, I guess, either. It's not like he was.
I mean, yeah, that's stuff, true. But
no, because he's a character filled with regret because he basically didn't save his friend, and that's why he wanted to make in Vietnam. So that's why he came back to save him. In the end, it was like his hero arc where he was able to sort of find his heroism again.
Yes, that is correct. But yeah, but I like throughout the movie though, I just like I like Zien and Van Damme together more than him and Winston.
Yeah.
So that was just like a better arc for me in terms of that. But I mean, if you have to go like I'll take Bloodsport as my favorite over the two, but I'm gonna go with the end fight in Kickboxer over the end fight in Bloodsport. I like that one more.
I just think everyone needs to remember one important thing about this versus is Chong Li beat Tong Po because that's who he broke the leg in Bloodsport.
Oh yes.
That's Tong Po.
He had hair. He had no more. He had like an afro.
That's Michael Kesey that gets his leg broken.
Yes.
Yes.
You reminded me of something though just now too. The end battle in Kickboxer because it's more of a movie thing is that we don't know how equal that fight was because Van Damme was fighting under the impression that his family was he was handicapped. Yeah. See, which makes it a movie fight. It doesn't make it a fight where it's like Tong Po is so badass that he doesn't need to do any of this stuff. It's going to be a real fight, the two of them. The second the brother is and thing are all safe, he's like, cut these ropes off, and he just destroys them. So you get the impression that Van Damme could have just destroyed this guy in 2 seconds anyways. He was just making it look good because he was worried about his family. So it's like, it's weird. I don't know. They introduced too many weird plot thingies in this to you know what I mean? And I don't know.
If you wanted to fuck with his family, take the rape scene out. If you wanted to fuck with his family, let that be what the gangsters were trying to do, and then have Tong Po get pissed off.
Yeah, I love it.
The fight.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just to keep Tong Po knowing that he's the baddest motherfucker of them all, and he's like I'm not even like they even say it's some white guy who's totally not an issue. It'll be totally fine. That's all I need to know that Tong Po knows he's badder than Kurt is. But because you've now integrated him into all of the shenanigans to handicap him, it's kind of like still an amazing fight, but honestly, the amazing fight is the very last round of the fight. You know, especially when Winston takes the stick away from the gong dude, and he's like,
that was cool.
And it's an amazing, you know, that whole fucking straight leg kick, right? When he's up against that totem and he slides down.
And he turns and kicks the other guy too.
But, you know, nobody dies in that movie except for when Winston shoots up those guys. You know, there's no, like, I didn't kill Tong Po. He did the most vile things other than kill my brother or kill my Lee, but maybe should have killed him. Maybe should have broke his neck. Hell, that dude lives through like the next 4 or 5 fucking Kickboxer movies.
I hate that they bring him back in the sequels, like, because then it kind of diminishes his victory in the first movie, and you're like, oh, so it's like this. an hour and 13 minutes. It's like the Star Wars sequels by bringing back fucking Palpatine. It diminishes Anakin's fucking sacrifice at the end of Return of the Jedi, and you're just like, why can't you just come up with new villains for?
And you're already pissed off that you get these sequels, and it's like, oh, we killed him, and there's a third brother. I love Sasha Mitchell. I actually prefer the Kickboxer sequels over the Bloodsport ones. It's awesome. It's like a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
But I love Sasha Mitchell, but you're already dealing with, Tong Po shot him. And that's what we found out. He was so dishonored that he killed the Sloan brothers, and then he pops back up later. And he's like, okay, now we beat him. And he fucking pops up again. And I'm pretty sure he pops up in 4, if I'm not, or I think he skips.
It's not even the same actor.
No, it's different. The makeup.
It's like he's got. We hadn't talked about it. His makeup ain't great in Kickboxer. They caked it on Kesey. Like it's really bad looking.
Yeah.
But they were going for that, because Kesey's not, Taiwanese. But it does look like. But the guy that they got to replace Michael Kesey in that one, dude, it's like just put a Michael Kesey mask on. It would have been more.
Like Leatherface or something. I remember when I saw it, and I thought this looks like he's fighting Leatherface or something. This is awful.
It's so
I didn't
bad.
like any of the other ones after that.
And quit bringing them back, Helen Mirren.
I thought so.
Great.
I wish that Tong Po
really
was. I wish that he was like legit fighter. Like I liked. I don't want to say it's the Mr. T thing, but like I like the idea that he's like, look, I'm here for a real fight. I don't care about any of this bullshit. I care about Muay Thai, and I'm going to kick the crap out of you. And your stupid American brother came here, put on a big show, thought he was a smart ass. I kicked the shit out of him, and I almost crippled him. You're lucky I didn't kill him. So you guys better watch your step around here. I like that better. You know what I mean? Versus like, oh, he's part of this crime boss thing. And you're like, okay, this is weird.
Let him go Clubber Lang on it.
Which was that first? Rocky 4 or Kickboxer?
Rocky 4?
Rocky 4 came out before Kickboxer.
Came out before. Because the Rocky movies came out really earlier than I remember sometimes.
This is basically, it's the same story as Rocky 4, basically, because, except Apollo Creed is killed, so he wants for revenge and fights bad guy Drago, and you're like, this is the same story, pretty much.
Yeah, Rocky 4 is before.
Yeah.
In Kickboxer 2, do they credit Michael Kesey? Because they credit Tong Po as himself in this one.
In the first one, they credit Michelle Kesey as Tong Po.
I haven't seen the sequels for years. I haven't.
In the second one, it is Michelle Kesey, and he is.
But I think you're right. It does say Tong Po as Tong Po, but they're on Tubi. They've been on Tubi forever. I sit there and I'll watch them. Shasta Mitchell's just fun. He's got like a charisma to him, and he's not trying to be Van Damme.
I like the third one because there was like a lot of humor in it too. Like
the third one's one of my favorites.
The third one's just an action movie, and it's awesome. The third one's great.
I mean, he takes on like scum sucking like child slavery ring, which is the worst kind of bad guy there is. And then he
kickboxes all the kids.
He fights Ian Jacqueline at the end, and that's a really good fight.
I think 4's when they start making him like a CIA agent.
Yeah, this is not.
It goes insane, man.
And 5 is one of
he's in prison, and they get him out of prison.
There's 5 of these, Sean. There's 5 of these.
There are.
Hey, there's 10 Fast and Furious movies, and they're terrible.
I don't know, but I love that it's like it's not even about kickboxing.
Barely.
He's like an agent or something.
And Mark Dacascos.
I love. Okay, so I gotta get all these. I love them all. I saw a little bit of part 2. I thought this is bullshit.
And they kill Sasha Mitchell's character at the beginning of Kickboxer 5 Redemption.
They do. They kill him.
It's not even
gets redeemed.
It's another actor in shadows, and that Mark Dacascos gets revenge because what's his name? Now I can't think of it. The bad guy in Redemption, the 5th one. What's that guy?
I'm looking at it right now. Oh, it's a different guy. Oh, it's Mark Dacascos. Yeah.
Mark Dacascos is your main good guy. And then they give us a new bad guy, I think, in 5.
James Ryan.
James Ryan from Killer
Killing. That was the president. Yeah. So they kill David Sloan at the beginning because he's killing all the champions and taking their belts
which is kind of lame.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
So wait a minute. How many Bloodsport movies? Hold on. We got to see Bloodsport. We got to do the whole series. See, we should have done the whole series of all of them versus all of them. So how many?
Was there 4 or 5 Bloodsports? Did
There's
they do another one?
Because Bloodsport 2, Bloodsport 3, and 4, the Dark Kumite, which
Daniel Bernhardt.
the 3 of them are Daniel Bernhardt.
Right.
And that's
Daniel
Bernhardt.
Bernhardt.
With Daniel Bernhardt from that, and then Sasha Mitchell was like the Kickboxer one. So
yep.
In terms of the sequels, Bloodsport wins, I think, there, because it's just other Kumites and it's just kind of more the same. But Daniel Bernhardt was cool. I liked him.
He was good. I don't know. I grew up watching, like, was it Step by Step that had Sasha Mitchell in it as Cody. So seeing him in those action movies, and then I watched like Class of '99 Part 2. Where
that's a great movie.
I fucking love it. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
Genius.
I love it. It's so good.
It's a genius movie. That's better than 84. That's better than.
It's better than 84. I don't know if I would say it's better than.
No, I prefer the first one. Yeah, Class 99 is my favorite one.
It's a Terminator ripoff, but it's the greatest Terminator ripoff I've ever seen.
Yeah. Class of 84.
I gotta rewatch those.
Rough as fuck. Class of 84, because I can remember the gang rape his wife.
That one, like.
Yeah, that's not a fun movie.
Those of course high school students in the
yeah. You get that one. If you watch those, you're better off to like watch 84 and then watch something like The Substitute after that. Yeah. You know, start getting into those.
Yeah, Substitute's good too.
Yep.
Riptide.
Okay,
it's no Police Academy 7. You are correct, sir. It's no Police Academy 7.
Yeah.
I don't mind Police Academy 7. I think it's not that great, but
I don't think I've even seen it. I think I stopped at
Mission Moscow, right?
I didn't see like.
I think is that one? I thought 6 was Moscow.
No, 6 is
City Under Siege.
Yeah.
City.
5 is Miami.
About.
Yeah.
5's Miami.
Yeah.
With House, and he sits down in the airplane tips.
I don't remember any. I've only
canceled. Cancel that sucker.
No way.
Fat
yeah.
I think Bloodsport has a redo
We're
of
talking
it.
about Police Academy now. How the hell did this
happen? It just happens. He made the joke in the chat, and so I make
the so we did a poll for everyone to vote for what was it, Bloodsport or Kickboxer. So unsurprisingly,
yeah,
damn,
it's not even close.
Not even. Holy cow.
52 votes, and it's like that. Damn.
Yeah. But you know what?
That's a lot of vote. I think I'm telling you, I think it's subconsciously like what I've been saying. I think that's subconsciously in people's minds. Like this is why they're not as. It's like, yeah, the fights are cool, the training's really cool, but there's just something feels off. I think that's what feels off. I made 0 notes on Bloodsport, but I made a lot of notes on Kickboxer because when you're critically looking at it, I was like, man, there's a lot of weirdness in this movie that I never really thought of. It's like what John was saying. I watched it a million times, didn't really think it through, but now I'm sitting down on a panel, so I'm like, well, let me J-man this, you know.
we had the same issue. We had the same
Charlie,
issue in the episode. Yeah,
you and Charlie, you sons of bitches, you ruined Kickboxer for me. Now I can't.
No, that's not. It's not ruined at all. What are you
it's
talking
still
about?
an amazing movie.
I'm
to watch.
kidding. You can't ruin.
FYI, I vote for Kickboxer. So I want it to be different. So I did, and I do watch Kickboxer more.
That's good.
I think like
I do. I watch Kickboxer more too.
Bloodsport is probably the better movie, and I think the characters are larger than life in Bloodsport. There's so many great characters, and there's some great quotable lines and things like that as well. And Bloodsport's definitely more iconic. But I have a thing about training montages, and like I love that beautiful training in front of the sunset and everything. And I could literally just watch him just doing the training montage like nothing
else. Watching Van Damme train is awesome.
I just love all that. So, and because I haven't watched Bloodsport recently, but I watched Kickboxer last week, so that's fresher in my mind. So I'm saying Kickboxer just to be a dick.
What? No, it's not being a dick. I don't think anything's a wrong or a right answer. You like what you like at the end of the day.
How about
and we're talking about Van Damme, you know.
How about them Kickboxer reboot movies? Let's talk about those, shall we?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to be honest. They fucking suck. I'm sorry. I wanted to like them, but they dubbed Van Damme in the first one.
They did.
So, and I was like, oh, so we're not supposed to notice that completely different voice speaking over Van Damme? Like,
Van Damme has such an obvious voice, too. That's the other problem.
Yeah, they dubbed him over.
With like, Scott Adkins was supposed to be the bad guy in the next one, and they were supposed to film it. What the hell? Like, and now he's filming a different movie. Like, they didn't even make Kickboxer.
They probably were just like, it's not going to make money. I mean, that one with Van Damme, the only thing to watch in that movie is the end credits when the new guy does the dance and they play the Van Damme dance.
Yeah.
They play them side by side, so it's like mirror image.
Listen,
That's all I care about.
Okay, Retaliation had some really good fight sequences in it. If you don't take it as a Kickboxer movie or like they're trying to redo Kickboxer, he does good fighting in it. I mean, he's talented, and there's like a Wonder sequence in it that's really good. But in terms of being a Kickboxer movie, I mean, there's no comparison.
It didn't need to be rebooted like that, honestly.
No, they're charmless and forgettable and modern, and that's just it's like I respect the fact that they wanted to bring back like the tournament movie and doing that, because I love fighting tournament movies. I don't want to see more of them, but in terms of that, like the best fighting tournament movies like recently are the Undisputed movies with Scott Adkins,
Scott Adkins.
Those are great movies, and those sort of capture that almost the magic, particularly the third one, which has like all the tournament and. I think those are sort of some of the better ones, but the Kickboxer reboots just didn't do anything. I watched them both once. The second one, there's Retaliation. What was the other one? Vengeance.
Kickboxer
Vengeance. That's the one with Batista in it.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah. I stopped that the first time. I was like, why isn't this fucking ending? Why does this keep going on?
It just kept going.
Yeah, and I totally tuned out, and it totally lost me, and I was like. There's nothing realistic about this movie now. I'm done. And to me, it's like the worst Kickboxer movie. I hate it. And I don't normally like saying that about a movie, but no, I did not like that one. And everyone gave it great reviews. It just shows the critics know fuck all whenever it comes to like reviewing action movies or martial arts. They're like, this is the best Kickboxer yet. Shut the fuck up.
It had someone's name they recognized. And they'll be like, oh, this was good. This was in this. They weren't good. Like,
no.
Anything new comes out, and then my favorite thing. This is a reviewer and YouTuber trope. Anytime a new whatever comes out, this is the best since part one. That's like the newest thing for everything that ever comes out. So Alien Romulus, this is the best Alien movie since Alien, right? Or and they might.
I actually said that it's the best one since the second one because the other ones are shit.
Right,
Aliens. That's right.
Since Aliens though, but even with Prey, even with I don't know, like anything, Hellraiser, like anything that comes out, it's like, oh yeah, this is the best since whatever.
That's how they were touting the Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. It's like it's bringing back like the first Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yeah. What about part two? Same with Terminator, Dark Fate. Oh, this is the best since Terminator. Now they can't say Terminator 1 because they know that's utterly preposterous.
Dark Fate, please.
No, some people still thought it was better than whatever.
Genesis
Linda Hamilton was cool in it.
I mean, Genesis got me actually angry. And I hated that movie. Oh,
well, I just watched Genesis the other day because my wife hadn't seen it. I will go on record by saying it's 4,000 times better than Dark Fate. How's that sound? It's like Dark Fate is the worst garbage. It's like they kill John Connor as a boy. And it's supposed to take place after part two. So after John cries and says, I order you not to go. I order you not to go. No, John, he must die. And he does the thumbs up. So everyone's choked. Even I'm choked up and I don't care about anything. I'm choked up during that part. If a Terminator can learn the value of a human life, maybe we can too. Then the next shot is they're at some like bar and Schwarzenegger kills the little kid. And now it's like this little girl who's the savior.
I think I might agree.
I thought it was pretty good. It was okay. What are you talking about? Genesis is just a pointless movie. This Dark Fate destroys Terminator 2's ending. Like, I mean, I almost walked out of that
it
Dark
makes
Fate
the
movie.
Terminator a suburban stepdad. I mean,
which is bad too.
Yeah.
Genesis is just a pointless movie. They tried to have some cool ideas. It's like what Sean says. It's a hot take movie. It's like, oh, Sarah's doesn't need him anymore because she's strong. Well, who sent that Terminator back through time? That's never answered. Okay. It's brutal, but it's not. It doesn't destroy my soul the way Dark Fate.
All right, hang on a second. Let's get J-Man really going. The Acolyte, go.
Oh, the Acolyte. No. I'm done with that.
We're at an hour and a half already. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm hot. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
You should have put those two things. Putting those two things together sounded weird. I'm hot and I got to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Talking about Van Damme.
Yeah. So anyway, the winner is Bloodsport, unsurprisingly. So hooray!
I never get
so there won't be a show next week just because I'm still doing training at work. So we'll do it the week after, and we might talk Alien Romulus or we'll talk Ninja 3. I can't decide. It'll be one or the other. So
Ninja 3, the domination.
Yeah.
How come that came up as a?
I just felt like it because I just wanted to watch it, and I was like, I want to watch that. Maybe we should just stream on it. Give me an excuse to watch it.
Owen literally was just like, "Let's do Ninja 3 to dominate."
Like seriously, before this started.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh wait, what?" I was like, "Okay,
go for it."
I got icons for everything. I'll make a Ninja 3 one.
Make them all. Make them all. We'll do them eventually. You know, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I wish my day job just keeps getting in the way of my life right now. It's really annoying, and got to pay the bills.
Oh, thanks, Pete. Come in right at the last
Yeah,
minute.
right.
Great. Well, Pete, Bloodsport won, unsurprisingly. There you go. So, no one next week, but the week after, with any luck, life should be back to normal, and I can get back to doing this again and enjoying life. Anyway, so thank you all for watching, and we will see you soon. And remember, if you are watching, you are the Action Elite.